Hi. Wow, what a week. What a week it has been. I'm realizing that there's a good chance that some of these videos are probably going to feel like therapy sessions, and you are my therapist, not saying anything, and I'm just talking at you. Especially because I really thought that today I was gonna come in and just be sobbing on camera, which might happen at some point, to be completely honest. But I'm actually feeling better today. Yesterday was a rock bottom moment. Yesterday was a hard day. And it's been a hard past couple of weeks. If you saw, I posted a video on the liminal space. I've been in a liminal space. I actually realized today that the past 2 years that I've been living in the city that I'm in has been a liminal space. Like, moving into the city, I realized was a transition. I thought that I transitioned here, and then once I got here, it was like the beginning of my new life, and I didn't really realize until now that, oh, I am gonna cry. Maybe. That the whole purpose of my time here would be a transition into my becoming. And actually what's funny is when I moved out here with the idea and the intention of starting a business similar to this. At the time, I made an Instagram page, and I was doing similar things, but I didn't realize, like, Instagram's not for me. The work that I'm passionate about and the things that I talk about are too deep. It was the right direction, but it wasn't grounded yet. It wasn't clear yet. And then I was pulled into this chapter of, like, lessons and karmic stuff, and I kind of forgot where I was going on my path. It was almost like maybe I will just focus on dating and focus on the easy things, and life and my soul have their own plans. And this winter, after sort of being off track in a way, which I don't believe in being off track, I think every track, but off the original path. Sometimes you have to steer off and then come back on, and it's part of the drive. But I was brought back on path. I was like reactivated, you could say. And I remembered, oh yeah, okay, I know what I want to do. And then I started the YouTube channel, and now here we are. And now I'm leaving the city that I'm in. So, full circle, I guess. I came here to start a business, and I'm leaving with the scaffolding, and everything is unfolding differently than I expected. With work and just so many things, it's just so interesting to me always to see how, at least for me, things really just never work out exactly how I want them to or anticipate that they will. But that's not a bad thing. Like, I really, my ego, and probably most people's egos, there's such a tendency to want to steer the ship and to be like, this is what I want. And yes, I knew that I wanted to start a channel or a YouTube or Instagram page or some kind of coaching business or something along the lines of what I'm doing now. But the clarity, it doesn't come right away, and it doesn't come without struggle a lot of the time, and detours, and yeah, difficult, painful lessons that wear you down. I feel like healing or alignment or manifestation, whatever it is, all of them, I mean, they're all their unique things, but they all are part of the same puzzle. It all happens with erosion and alchemy. I feel like life has to wear you down to get to your core. I don't know where I'm going with this right now, but I think this is just a lesson that I'm sharing with you, to know that alignment is not a pretty process. It's not a pretty process. I find it upsetting how many influencers and Instagrammers talk about alignment like it's this magical rainbow world or way of life. Alignment is messy and it is painful, because to get into alignment means to dismantle and burn down everything in your life and all of the parts of you that are false. And the truth is probably, if you're like me, even if you're a very authentic person, there's a lot of you and your life that's false because it's fear driven. Like when I talk about survival mode and old paradigm, I'm talking about the masks that we put on and the things we tell ourselves and tell other people about ourselves that help us fit in and belong because we're scared. And a lot of it is unconscious. Like I think we get broken open, like I said, we get eroded or worn down by life, and eventually, you know, awakening is a process because like you might awaken in, you know, one way or to a certain depth, and then you kind of get back into things, and then something else happens and a new layer is unlocked kind of. And that's also when I talk about like a new cage, like we have infinite cages that we're sitting inside. And another metaphor for this is like life, as you're worn down, you also kind of expand into your infinite core self. And that's when you start to shatter through all these illusions and these cages, these things, these ideas and beliefs that we box ourselves into, and all the physical manifestations of those beliefs that are in our lives. And right now for me, you know, living where I live and the job that I'm working at, which don't think will be for much longer, I had to burn it down. Or my soul, my higher self, something. And I look at it, and by the way, I mean, sometimes it will look like sabotage in the moment, because it certainly feels a bit like, some people would look at it and be like, did you just sabotage? And then, you know, later on I'm going to be like, I did exactly what I needed to do to burn it down, because my consciousness, my soul, and my mind are like already ahead. I'm in this future where this right here, well, not here, but you are my future. Recording these videos is my day to day and my livelihood and how I'm, you know, earning and all these things. This is my future. My current circumstances, where I live, how I'm living, how I'm getting paid right now, doesn't match that reality. Both are real, both are true, but one is ahead of the other. The physical world and my physical body take time to catch up. And so what's been happening for me this week is things are moving so fast. It went from being like, I know things are in motion, but I can't see it physically and whatever. Things are in motion now physically. And there's always, it's abrupt usually. And for me, it certainly is. And I'm watching a lot of things burn down, and also recognizing that it feels aligned, even though it's so painful and it's not happening exactly as I would have loved to choose. Like, I'd love things to shift on my terms. My ego wants to be like, okay, we'll do that on that day, and then, you know, get that money first, and, you know, make sure the YouTube channel has like 50K subscribers so I can start my e-course first. Like, I would love that reality, but that's not where the work is. That's not the reality that I chose, and that's okay. That's okay if I need to be eroded down a little bit so that I can come back to my core and build from an honest place. Because I think when things are easy, it's really easy also to kind of distance ourselves from truth. That's also what I talked a bit about on the rock bottom video, is like, when we are stripped of everything outside of ourselves, when things get really hard and empty and quiet, that's when we face ourselves, our truth, because there's nowhere else to look. And yeah, I mean, yesterday was a day where I was stripped of any possible alternative reality. I mean, maybe things will work out a little bit better than I think, but happy to give you an update on the whole liminal space thread, because things are moving. Things are definitely moving. If there are a few things that I learned out of all of this, it's that number one, whatever phase you're in is going to end at some point. So if you're struggling right now, or if you're waiting for things to shift, life works in cycles. We work in cycles, and things will pass. So just do what you can to embrace the precious moments that exist where you are right now, and also know that, you know, if things are really hard, they're going to get better too. Number 2, that alignment is going to be messy, almost guaranteed, because you have to burn down all that is false to get to what is real. And that hurts, even if you know it's aligned, even if you know it's right, even if you know it's guiding you somewhere that's going to be better. That doesn't, you know, like I'm someone who, a lot of my manifestation comes from putting in my AirPods and going for a walk and envisioning my future and feeling into it. And it's so fun when we just like are imagining it, like, woo, and then you go back to your life and you're like, this is your life, and you're like, one day I'm gonna be that person, like that's gonna be my life, I'm gonna be living there, I'm never gonna have to worry about XYZ. But you also have to acknowledge, like, physically you're here, like something's gotta give to get to here. You can't just like, boop, step right into this new reality. You have to kind of like let go of the old, and that's scary for your nervous system. That's painful for your nervous system and your emotional body and your physical body. And it's a lot. When it finally happens, when that like integration phase happens and that like physical manifestation phase happens, like it doesn't usually just come with like the flowers blooming. Like there's usually a death that has to happen first, and no one talks about that. You know, so know that like the aligned path, like the alignment path, like the real kind, the kind that's like deeply fulfilling on a soul level, the kind that's not just like Instagram fun, pretty, aesthetic, like look at my, you know, yoga, Pilates setup that I do on the beach every single day, and like life is beautiful and good vibes and namaste. Like, yes, 100% namaste. I love yoga, and we all got light, we all have light in us, and I'm not dismissing that, but like the reality is that life is tough and there's a lot of density on this planet, and that's part of it. Moving through that, learning how to move through it and breathe with it and still show up with love and with that light. That is part of the process, and alignment is, yeah, it's messy, it's painful, and it can be really ugly. And sometimes when you burn down the old, like you might look like a villain. You might look like you sabotaged things. There's messiness to it. That's part of it. And part of that burning down, you know, will shape you into what you're gonna, you know, who you're gonna be and what you're gonna do after. So just know it's part of the process. And it's easier said than done, trust me. If you had just seen what I had gone through emotionally yesterday, you'd be surprised at how I'm sitting here today talking with this clarity now. Also, those moments of, you know, pain and grief and burning the house down kind of thing, they do lead to clarity. And they do, like I said, bring you closer to truth. And that's what we're all after, right? On this channel anyway. Number 3, give yourself credit for all of your growth and all of your work. Don't forget to stop and breathe and treat yourself and get the dinner or the whatever you want to buy. Obviously, thinking about your future self as well. Very important. Learn from my mistakes. But take care of yourself. Do what you need to do. I think it's okay to occasionally, you know, buy the thing and whatever. Make your heart happy, but also just be mindful. You want to treat yourself, your current, your past, and your future self. That's what I've learned with spending, because we're all one. Yeah, take care of yourself, be patient with yourself, be patient with your body. Like that's because, like I said, my nervous system was catching up yesterday. It is really, really, really exhausting. Really exhausting. When you quantum leap and you start shedding stuff and you start moving into a new reality and big shifts happen, your nervous system is gonna flare. If I was my younger self, I probably would have been like, I need to work out today. I need to, like, no. Like, let yourself be, breathe, ground, surround yourself with amazing, loving people if possible. And if not, find YouTube channels and, you know, places that are nourishing and food that's nourishing, and do what you can to surround yourself with love in whatever form or capacity that you can. Because love is around you. Love is in the trees, it's in the plants, it's in animals, it's in even the wind, even yourself, very much in yourself. You just have to find it. Sometimes you gotta just dig in there, but it's there. Yeah. And you have to remember too that, like, just because you don't see it physically right away, even in your circumstances, you know, like, there's always a silver lining somewhere at some point, and just make sure you're open to it. And I know that's hard. Let's bring that to the next point, which is number 4, safety first. I'm gonna be saying this a lot, I think. I'm gonna make another video on this, but yesterday I had a therapy session, an emergency therapy session, and it was such a beautiful session, so needed, so important, and it reminded me just how much safety to your nervous system creates your entire reality. So funny how much I can sit here, and when my nervous system is calm and great and it's in a good place, I'm like, your nervous system is your frequency, and da-da-da, you need to breathe, you need to calm yourself. But as soon as, like, those threats, those alarms go off, and your nervous system goes into that place, I'm like, it's disconnected. You forget, oh my God, my nervous system is the one leading right now. My nervous system is somewhere potentially not in it's valid in its response right now, but it's also not actually experiencing reality. I was really disconnected from my love, my internal, you know, guidance and love. And so my therapy session, we did a visualization, and it really brought me back into that part of me where, oh, okay, yes, now I see, now I'm at least a little connected to the meaning in all of this, and, you know, all of that. You can find a therapist who can guide you through some breath work, or, you know, a visualization, or EFT tapping, or just hear you talk, let you cry, you know, or a friend, whoever you can, like, go somewhere, or just, like, even a tree. Sometimes I just get called to, like, go outside and sit in the sand on the bay or the beach, or you know, go to a park and sit under a really, like, beautiful, big, wise looking tree, hugging my dog. There are always going to be resources around you. I know that's easier said than done when you are in a fight or flight or freeze or fawn phase or moment. It's hard. So, and that's a skill to know, oh my God, okay, I am not in an okay place. What can I do right now? What resources do I have to help me anchor back down into this moment, or bring myself, my mind, my body into a happier place? Safety first, always. The rest comes after that. I've decided, my parents actually recommended doing some kind of practice or reflection at the end of my videos. So that's what I'm gonna start doing now. Reflection, or a question that I'm gonna leave you with, is what's a part of your life that you thought was going to work out a certain way, and it didn't end up working out that way, but you ended up being really happy anyway? Maybe it brought you something that you didn't expect, that ended up being a huge part of your life, or a pivotal thing in your story, or a relationship that's now extremely important to you, or was a lesson for you in some meaningful way. Yeah, what's something that you really wanted to work out a certain way, but it didn't, but the way that it worked out ended up being really beautiful or special in some way? Think about what came out of that experience. What things happened or were brought to you that you didn't expect that are really important to you now? and what didn't end up happening that in hindsight wasn't actually that important. Well, I will leave you with that. Let me know in the comments what your answers are. I would love to hear from you. And if you like this video, please subscribe to my channel. Lots more like this. All right, we'll see you soon. Bye.